Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gooey's Dungeon Dive, the podcast where I, Gooey, rank all of the dungeons in the Legend of Zelda series. And this week in Oracle of Seasons, we must employ our stealth abilities, make even more animal friends, become a certified diver, and navigate all the way to the top of Mount Kuko, now using the added power of the Spirit of Spring. All of this leads us to our next destination, the Dancing Dragon Dungeon. And before we say anything about this dungeon, have a listen to this. Hell yeah. This dungeon theme is a total jam, and thank you to Okami Deluxe for letting me use their awesome remix of the music in this whole game throughout the Oracle of Seasons series. It totally does this dungeon and the rest of the game justice. So I'm not sure if the map here continues our shape theme. Is this a dancing dragon? Is this? I don't know, I guess in the Legend of Zelda we had the dragon, but here we're dancing, probably because the theme is so good. This dungeon has a little bit of a goofy vibe. There's swimming and mine carts and whiz ropes and Tektites. Seems like the dungeon maybe was some other type of structure that had been flooded out by the waterfall that it was previously behind. It's a little chaotic and messy, but honestly the gameplay here is so fun. I love anything after that. The navigation in the dungeon has been slightly expanded in complexity once again. I think they've been really consistent with that in the game so far. One way is obviously with the amount of keys and the order in which you spend them. And I've been trying not to bore people with that so much this season, but yes, there is a nicer, bigger sense of non-linearity here with the keys, but only minorly really from what we've experienced before. But it's nice. We also see the return in the expansion of the mine carts. In the previous dungeon that they were in, the tracks could be changed from a switch near the track, but now the track has to be changed while in motion. First by striking it with your sword, and then later in the dungeon using the dungeon item, the slingshot, to hit them from a distance. Some of the tracks in the dungeons, like this one here for example, also have become a lot more complex in the rooms they go to. The added challenge of striking them while moving, while also having to remember where the different paths lead to and fork off to, make this both fun from a gameplay perspective and navigationally. What it ties together is this really fun, like action-packed dungeon. We see a lot of more micro challenges in each room that are pretty fun and make good use of basically our entire arsenal. We swim, we run, we jump, we push, we bomb. We even get some nice use out of the Ember Seeds with our new slingshot, as well as a pretty neat spin on Aghanim as this sort of mini boss. And after all the action, I'm pretty beat by the time I get to the final boss, Goma, which is just another classic enemy back for more. She gave me some trouble, I do gotta say, though I think I could have employed some strats that I didn't consider. But basically, she grabs you with this giant claw and really can lay a whooping on you. The real aim is to hit her in the eye, classic Goma stuff, with the slingshot, but removing the claw will do you some favors, of course, which I think is cool, like almost this extra phase. Once you remove the claw, she starts spitting out little tiny babies, almost like in Ocarina of Time. She can be a little tough. I did die a few times. I gotta give this fight some recognition because it's the first boss fight in the game so far that has really actually given me trouble, and I like a good challenge. And our reward for beating Goma is, of course, the next essence of nature, the Soothing Rain. Bathed in drops of soothing rain, shoots grow into saplings. So yeah, we're really doing the Maku tree some favors here. But yeah, that was kind of a quick rundown, but I mean, really, I kind of explained it. It's just great action, slightly more complexity, truly inspired. I think the mine carts bring something kind of fun and novel and new to the series. Again, good, both just a good, fun action-based challenge, but of course making the navigation a lot more fun. I'll just bring up the ranking, and I think the minecarts are cool. I don't know if it's enough. The dungeon is just really fun, and that's great. I don't know if it's like groundbreaking I think the minecarts are very unique and very cool, but I don't know if it's enough to like get this in the top 10. But I would certainly put it above something like, it's the best dungeon in the game so far. Actually, let's start off there. If I'm just ranking these dungeons already, again, incremental step up in the difficulty and complexity and all that, and building off the previous dungeon with both the item usage, but also the bringing back that concept that was kind of just simplistic in the first dungeon, but now the minecarts are fully expanded. So of course it's above all the dungeons so far, but I would even shoot it up much higher. It's into one that I'm like, yeah, this rocks. This is a lot of fun. So right away, I'm thinking above Inside the Deku Tree, which is a very basic dungeon, and I'm looking at this area with like Swamp Palace. I think is pretty sick, pretty fun, the puzzling and stuff like that. Palace of Darkness, another one of my low-key favorites from that game. Key Cavern, kind of a slept-on dungeon, I think. It's pretty cool. In fact, I would say it's better than all those. And you know what? I actually do. You know what? Am I gonna go? I don't want to go too crazy on this. Yeah, you know what? I think the minecart mechanic and all that stuff is close. It's good enough to get it close to the top 10, but not quite in there. I will actually put it at the number 11 spot, which is pretty exciting for, I think, what the rest of the game could bring, because I feel like they expand even more on the gameplay throughout this whole game. That's what's great about this game, is sometimes even with the story I ran through leading up to the dungeon is just all these disparate elements, and it's kind of weird, and then the dungeon itself is so wacky and weird that it's kind of random in a lot of ways, but like I think it really ties itself together in a goofy way. Yeah, I actually think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun, and the music, it's totally jamming the whole time. It really just fits, honestly, the pace of this dungeon. It just feels a lot of fun to playing it. So for that, I put it in number 11, just below Skullwoods, and right above a classic of mine, Misery Mire. So that's bumping Face Shrine out of the top 20, I guess, which is totally fine. Face Shrine at where we're at now. I like what the top 20 is looking like. Some dungeons I really like are getting moved down, and I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, okay, we'll see. I'm really excited for the rest of Oracle of Seasons, because I think the last, well, let's see, dungeon 5, 6, 7, I think especially, I remember being really cool. So let's see if they can break the top 10. I'm pumped. Let's do it. All right. See everybody in the next episode. Bye.